Are you getting the audio? Dear participants, one of the participants is saying that audio issue is there. Are you getting the audio clearly?
Fine, sir, it is fine.
Okay. So in case of blockchain technology, only decentralized web is there, and in decentralized web there is no central repository of data or applications. The data applications are stored at multiple places and regions. So in case of decentralized web, in case of blockchain technology, there is no specific centralized server. Okay, yes, distributed is same, distributed and decentralized. Okay, so in case of web blockchain technology, there is no specific web server, there is no centralized database server. Each and everything is distributed, each and everything is fragmented, each and everything is transmitted to number of locations. And what is the major advantage of using blockchain technology, of using a decentralized web, is that it depends, the performance and security in blockchain technology depends on the number of users. Suppose a particular bank, if you take example of HDFC Bank, suppose HDFC Bank plans to implement blockchain technology for its net banking. Okay, currently it is not used in any bank. Okay, only in Singapore. If you will see the case study of Singapore, in case of Singapore, more than 90% banks are deployed and they are giving their services on blockchain technology. Dubai. Dubai is another location that is converting all of its e-governance applications on blockchain. So Singapore, as far as the current scenario is concerned, the banking system of Singapore is almost deployed on blockchain, and Dubai is also uh, planning to convert all of its e-governance applications on blockchain. Okay, and that's why. And if we will see the case studies of Dubai also, we will get all these things. Dubai first smart city. So simply you can see that Dubai is first smart city. Okay, smart city means or first blockchain city. So all these case studies you can analyze. In case of India, it is not implemented fully so far. Actually, because of the implementation issues, you can see that Dubai ambitious to become first blockchain city. Okay, blockchain Dubai. So Dubai is planning to implement all the applications. Okay, you can see that Dubai is so many news are concerned. So if you are doing research in blockchain technology, you can take the case study of Dubai as well as the case study of Singapore. So Singapore, as I have told you just now that Singapore blockchain bank. So Singapore's central bank develops blockchain-based applications. Singapore Canadian central banks use blockchain. So only Singapore and Dubai. These are the major locations, and you can see that so many case studies are available. So as we are discussing all these points, that Dubai is a smart city, first blockchain city, or Singapore is deploying its complete banking system on blockchain. So we should verify it. You can verify it on internet. You can analyze different case studies on internet that which particular countries are using that particular thing. Okay. So there are so many scenarios available, and we were discussing about. Now we are coming again to that particular point that we were discussing that in case of blockchain technology, decentralized web is there. Now again, I take example of a specific bank. Suppose HDFC Bank plans to implement blockchain for its net banking, UPI, or NEFT. In that case, where data will be stored? If HDFC Bank or State Bank of India is able to implement blockchain for its UPI or payment gateway, in that case, there will be no server of that specific bank. Okay. Bank cannot deploy a specific server, whether it is State Bank of India or it is HDFC Bank. That's why these banks or government of India is not able to deploy it. Why? Because if the complete banking system is deployed on blockchain, in that case, where data will be stored? The complete data of users, complete data of transactions will be stored on multiple smartphones, on multiple computers. For example, HDFC Bank is having 1 million clients. I'm repeating this point. Suppose HDFC Bank is having 1 million customers. In that case, data of HDFC Bank will be stored in 1 million computers or in 1 million mobile phones. If State Bank of India is having 5 crore users, then data will be stored in 5 crore systems, 5 crore smartphones. So whosoever device, whatsoever platform is using that blockchain, the replication of data will be there. The data will be replicated to all the devices to ensure the security, to ensure the integrity, and the complete data will be in encrypted format. Now the basic question comes: if data is getting stored on all the computers, on all the clients, then what is security? Then data leakage will be there. There will be no data leakage. Why? Because data will be fragmented, data will be cut down dynamically, and different parts will be stored in different computers. Suppose 1 GB file is there. That 1 GB file will be converted to millions of parts in KBs, and each and every KB will be stored in each and every computer separately, in each and every smartphone separately. So that is the beauty of blockchain technology. That is the main thing with blockchain technology, that no one is the owner of blockchain. Nobody is the proprietor of blockchain. Yes, definitely, replication will increase the overall infrastructure cost. Okay, that is this is another major issue. That's why government of India or the developing countries are not able to implement it. One more thing is there that is very important to cover, that in India or in developing countries, the cyber security experts are not available. We are not having cyber experts. We are not having cyber specialists. Okay, so it will be very difficult to track a particular transaction, because each and every transaction is in encrypted format. Each and every transaction is encrypted. Each and every transaction will be passed through the cloud after each and every phase. Nowadays, what happens in current scenario? Suppose I say that my UPI number, my Paytm number is suppose this, okay, or my Google Pay number is this, or my UPI number is this. Suppose I say that, okay, this is my UPI number, okay, or this is my Google Pay number. If UPI system, if NEFT system is deployed on blockchain, in that case, what will be my UPI number? This will be my UPI number. This will be my UPI number, like this, and nobody will be able to crack who is the owner of this particular UPI. Are you getting this point? Now everybody knows that this is myself, because all SIM cards, this is a number of a SIM card. This particular SIM card is attached with a particular PAN card, or not with PAN card, but this SIM card or this mobile number is linked with an Aadhaar card. Aadhaar is attached with address. Aadhaar is attached with father's name, mother's name, address, and so many other things. Okay, gender. but nobody will be able to find out, okay, what is this, who is this person. Okay, so it will be very difficult to find out. But if I say that this is my Google name, suppose, in that case it will be very difficult even for Google Pay that who is the owner of this particular address. So this will be the actual transaction ID. Okay, so have you got this point? Have you got this point? But what is difference between a blockchain transaction? So this is the blockchain transaction. Blockchain account number. Suppose this, and same thing happens in ransomware. You might have seen different ransomware. And few days before, I also received a message. I also received a mail from somebody's account that if you will not that this is they provided me a particular number of Bitcoin ID. Suppose this was the ID. They asked to transfer around $5,000 in that particular account. Otherwise, they will copy the complete data from my laptop. So it was just a threatening mail, but I ignored that particular thing. Okay, there is no special property in my laptop, so I did not reply to that particular account. But many people, what happens? Many people get scared. Many people get in panic that okay, this is the blockchain number, this is a particular blockchain ID, so I should transfer the amount. So if you get such type of messages or mails that we will capture all your data or we will crash your hard disk, otherwise you send this much amount in that particular unknown ID. So uh, uh, even if I'm having that particular blockchain ID, even if I'm having that particular account number in this format, okay, if I report this account number in a police station, in that case, police station personnel, police officers will throw me out of the police station. They will say that okay, what we will do this particular account, okay. But if I say that okay, this is the mobile number and this person called me and they threatened me, in that case action can be taken because it is linked with some Aadhaar number or PAN number. Okay, but in case of the decentralized web, all things are in decentralized, all things encrypted. Okay, even account numbers are encrypted, all transactions are encrypted. No cyber expert will be able to identify the originator. No cyber expert will be able to identify the person who is the account holder. Okay, so that is the main thing. Up to this point, any question? Up to this point, is it clear to all of you? Not question, but is this point clear to all of you? At end of the session, we will take the queries. First of all, we will cover the session. Okay. What is decentralized web? Is it clear to all of you? Please confirm in chat box. Is this point clear? That in case of decentralized web, each and everything is encrypted and fragmented. So KYC is not available. Okay, KYC is in case of Bitcoin nowadays. Many countries are enforcing some security, some privacy issues, and some tracking issues also. So as far as the KYC is concerned, it is not fully implemented. And one more thing is that this partial KYC is there in blockchain or cryptocurrency. Okay, to purchase Bitcoin, there is no need of any KYC. To transfer the Bitcoins, there is no need of KYC. Suppose in my account there are 800 Bitcoins. Okay, now I want to convert these 800 Bitcoins to Indian rupees or to dollars. In that case, KYC will be required. KYC will be required to withdraw the money. Okay, are you getting this point? KYC is not required to open the account. KYC is not required to send the amount. KYC is not required to receive the amount, but KYC will be required to withdraw the amount. Are you getting this point? It is quite clear to all of you. If I am having 1,000 ripples, if I am having 1 million ripples, and I want to convert those ripple or Litecoin in Indian rupees, in that case, Indian government will ask me to complete KYC, because the conversion of Bitcoin to rupee and then rupee in a specific bank account, that will be monitored by the government agencies. So KYC will be required to withdraw the amount. KYC not required for transmission of amount. Same. So this process, this is used by anti-national activities, or terrorist activities, because terrorists do not need money in cash. Now we are discussing that point. If, uh, if there is need of KYC, then why terrorists are using this particular thing? Then why anti-national persons are using
Sir, the audio is
Bitcoin?
slightly low. You're speaking from a bit behind, so if you could come close to the mic a bit, so everything will be clear. There's slightly some audio issue, slight audio issue.
Okay.
Sir, a bit more louder and a bit more close.
Is it okay? Is it okay now?
Fine, sir.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, fine, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, so KYC is not required for transferring the amount. KYC is not required to withdraw the amount, but KYC will be required. KYC will be required to withdraw the amount. To transfer the amount, there is no need of KYC. Okay. If I want to send 1,000 bitcoins to some person in Iraq or in Pakistan, in that case, no need of KYC. But whosoever will withdraw those bitcoins in their country, in that case, depending upon the laws, depending upon the cyber laws or financial laws of that country, they may ask for KYC. And which KYC is required? International passport should be there. Okay. So if you are not a passport, if you are not passport holder, in that case, you can do everything with Bitcoin, you can do everything with Litecoin, or you can do anything with Ripple, but you can't convert it into rupees. Okay, so passport will be required, but in some countries, KYC is not required, and these are the countries where so many anti-national activities and terrorist activities are performed. Okay, is this point clear to all of you that KYC is not required for transmission of amount? Okay, suppose if we take a very simple example, suppose a particular person from one location to other location want to pay for 47. In that case, that amount in form of Bitcoin will be transmitted online. That particular country from where those weapons are getting purchased, those will be paid online. So each and everything is getting paid online. Nobody is doing the cash. Okay. Nobody withdraw the cash. Okay. For terrorist activities. Okay. Are you getting this point? Yes, Ripple is also cryptocurrency. I will show its demo also for Ripple. Okay, is this clear to all of you? Nobody withdraws the cash for terrorist activities. Nobody moves to bank. Nobody moves to bank to get cash. Okay, to purchase weapons. Is this point clear to all the participants? Are you getting this point? So that is the major issue because of which blockchain is not getting implemented in India or in Pakistan or in developing countries, because there is no monitoring agency. If there is monitoring agency, the monitoring agencies are not trained enough. They are not cyber specialists. Okay, even if we are having NIA, we are having CBI, we are having ED, we are having CID, we are having cyber cells, but those cyber cells are not efficient enough to handle blockchain transactions. They are not able to handle decentralized transactions. Okay, now I will show you that particular demo, and then you will come to know by which way these transactions are not traceable. Okay, up to this point, is it clear to all the participants? Up to this point, is it clear to all the participants about the basics of KYC and blockchain technology, and why blockchain is not implementable in developing countries, or in those countries where cyber security experts are not available? Okay. One of the participants is asking, if they are not able to withdraw the money, what is the use? Okay, actually what happens, suppose I want suppose I want to purchase some particular thing. In that case, amount comes to amount comes from A to B. B transfer that amount to C. So each and everything is moving without cash transactions. Okay, this is your virtual currency. This is basically a virtual currency. If I take a very simple example, very traditional example, as one of the participants, Vamsi Naidu, is asking that if they are not able to withdraw money, then what is the use of currency to them? Suppose I need to pay uh, 1,000 bitcoins to some particular person. Okay, and that is some anti-national activity. In that case, what I will do, I will take 1,000 bitcoins from some other person. That bitcoins, as it is, will be transferred to other person. So transaction occurred, but nobody come to know that transaction is taking place at the back end. Okay, are you getting this point? Have you got question? Have you got answer of this particular question? That transaction is going on in millions. Transaction is going on in crores of rupees, but nobody comes to know. If I take very simple example, suppose I need to pay a bribe to a government officer. Suppose I need to pay a bribe to a particular government officer. In that case, if I use my bank account, if I use my NEFT, if I use my UPI, so in that case, nobody will allow me. Suppose uh, whenever a particular government officer or politician ask bribe, they never use their bank account. Are you getting this point? Are you getting this point? If you want to, have you ever seen such scenario whenever a particular government officer is asking for the money, and they ask, and that particular officer is some SDO or SO, JE or some Axian. Have you ever seen some Axian or some SDO to ask to bribe in their bank account, in their HDFC bank or in their salary account? Nobody will tell you. Nobody will ask you to transfer the amount in their UPI account, because that can be traced. Okay, so uh, most of the illegal transactions come to place as far as India centralized system is used nowadays in its sensitive departments. Okay. So, in case of centralized, if government is willing to track the transactions, in that case, centralized server is required. If decentralized application is deployed, in that case, nobody can track it. It will be very difficult. However, it is not impossible, but it is very difficult. And cyber security experts, cyber professionals are not trained enough. Cyber security experts are not expert enough to track the transactions. And as far as the bitcoins are, I will show you demo also. Okay? I will show you the demo of decentralized server, decentralized application. Then you will come to know. Okay. Up to this point, is it clear to all of the participants? Is this point clear to all of you? That most of the illegal transactions, most of the hidden transactions are done from anybody else's account. Suppose I want to send 1 crore rupees to Malaysia. In that case, I will not use my account, but I will say, I will find somebody from Malaysia, and I will call him that I will Okay, and I will tell that particular person to send that much amount to that other person. So it is like Hawala transaction. It is e-Hawala transaction basically. Are you getting this point? This is the online version of Hawala. Okay. Earlier days it was physical, but whatever we do using blockchain, it is e-Hawala transaction. So nobody will come to know about who is transferring money to whom. Okay, whether it is a property dealer or it is a minister or it is a police officer or it is a government agent. Okay, so that that's that's why government is fearing to implement government fear to implement blockchain or decentralized for the implementations. Is this point clear to all the participants so that I can come to the implementation part? It was just to make you aware what happens in case of decentralized.
Gaurav sir, you there?
Yes, sir. Are you getting the audio?
Right now we are getting the audio. Earlier we were not getting the audio. Now it is okay.
Okay, okay. Are you getting the audio? All the
Yep.
participants?
Please write it in the chat box if everybody is getting the audio. Yes, sir, they're getting.
Okay, okay. Dear participants in chat box, please confirm. Have you ever heard about IPFS anytime? How many of you knows about IPFS? What is IPFS? Okay, now we are coming to the IPFS. IPFS refers to interplanetary file system. Is it visible to all the participants? It is interplanetary file system, IPFS. IPFS is the protocol of decentralized web. In addition to a in addition to the protocol, it is also a file system. So IPFS is the file system as well as the protocol for decentralized web, and it is used in blockchain. So if anybody asks you if you are doing research in the blockchain technology, then you will have to use IPFS protocol. You must use IPFS protocol. As in earlier session we have discussed MQTT. Do you remember earlier yesterday we have covered MQTT. MQTT is used in case of IoT. Okay, IPFS is used in case of blockchain. So if I want to transmit money from Bitcoin, in that case I will write the transaction in this format. If I want to use web, for that I use like this. Okay. Are you getting the audio? Is the audio quality clear to all the participants? Are you getting the audio?
Yeah, sir, it is coming from a bit back, so you could be a bit more louder and close to the mic again.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Now it is okay.
Better, sir, better.
Okay. So IPFS. So if we discuss that what is IPFS or which protocol is used in blockchain technology, so IPFS is the protocol as well as it is the file system. So it serves two purposes. One is file system and second is your protocol. Okay, and there are so many applications available. There are so many platforms available. Are you getting the audio? Is the audio clear? Are you getting the audio clearly? Please confirm in chat. Is the audio quality clear now? Okay. So IPFS protocol is used in blockchain technology, and more than 100 platforms and tools available. More than 100 platforms and tools available for IPFS programming. Now, suppose now if you take a simple example, suppose you are having a website abc.ac.in or nitrrchd.ac.in. Okay. Now I want to convert the website of NITR Chandigarh to blockchain. In that case, I will have to deploy IPFS server. I am repeating this point. If we want to deploy a complete website on blockchain, in that case, rather than using Oracle, rather than using MySQL, rather than using CouchDB or MongoDB, we will have to implement IPFS server. Okay, are you getting this point? What is IPFS and where we can use it? Is this point clear to all the participants? If we want to convert a particular website to blockchain, in that case we have to deploy IPFS server. We have to integrate IPFS platform. Are you getting the audio? Some participants are messaging in between. If we want to deploy a particular website, if we want to deploy a particular web-based application on blockchain or decentralized web, then we will have to use IPFS at the backend rather than NTFS or FAT or MySQL or Oracle or any other database or file system. Is this point clear to all the participants? That we will have to we must use IPFS at the backend. Okay. Is this point clear to all of you? What is IPFS? Now I am showing you that implementation part by which way IPFS works. Is this website visible to all of you? IPFS.io. Yes, IPFS is database also. It is file system also. It is protocol also. How many of you are able to view this website? IPFS.io. And you are able to view that it is written that IPFS powers the distributed web. Peer-to-peer hypermedia protocol. Blockchain works on peer-to-peer technology. As we have told that if HDFC Bank is having 1 lakh clients, then 1 lakh clients will communicate with each other in peer-to-peer mode without third-party intervention, without third-party server intervention. Okay. It is visible to all of you, IPFS.io. It is free and open source. It is free, open source and lightweight protocol. Okay, now you can see this web of tomorrow needs IPFS end-to-end, yes. So you can see that in case of current scenario, this is your centralized server. You can see that I'm using arrow. You can see. Is it visible to all of you? You can see that this is in case of centralized web. This is your centralized server. If it is cracked, if it is hacked, then entire network will be destroyed. And in this case, you can see that this is decentralized. Multiple nodes are there, multiple systems are there, interconnected but fully secured. So now you can see that IPFS can be installed on desktop system. Command line interface is also available. Okay, and Go implementation with programming also, with Node.js also you can do JS implementation, JavaScript implementation, and you can see that this is the process of working with IPFS. This is the platform ipfs.io. You can see that. So what happens as soon as we upload a particular file on IPFS server, then automatically it is fragmented to number of parts. Each and every part is assigned a fingerprint. What is fingerprint? Just to ensure the security and just to identify that particular block of information. Are you able to see this? Your file and all blocks are given unique fingerprint that is called cryptography hash. Okay. And IPFS removes the duplication of across the network also. It keeps track that data should not be duplicated. And you can see that there is no need to remember the hash. Every file can be found with human readable names. And clusters can also be implemented. Cluster.ipfs.io. You can see that automated data availability and redundancy. Yes, it is end-to-end, peer-to-peer and end-to-end in the same thing. Okay, IPFS cluster. So using command line also you can work, and it is freely available. And you can see case studies also. You can see that internet banking can be implemented using IPFS, but obviously no bank will take a trial of this, because in that case it will be very difficult to track the transaction, which person sent how much money to which other person. Okay. And sharing of files is also available. Each and everything is available in this. Okay. So you can see that virtual are also available as well as the lists. Yes. So if we see its implementation, so simply click on install. Are you able to see this install? Now I will show you how to work with IPFS on system. On any system you can work with it. Is it visible to all of you? Simply click on install and download this file. And you can see that in my system I have already downloaded this file, IPFS desktop. Is it visible to all of you? 81 MB setup is there. Very lightweight, very less size is there for IPFS. So if I install IPFS in my laptop, in that case my laptop will become IPFS node or blockchain node. Are you able to understand this point? Are you getting this point? If I have installed IPFS in my laptop, then after installation of IPFS in my laptop, my system will become blockchain node or my system will become IPFS node. Okay, so as I have already installed IPFS in my laptop, so now onwards my laptop is blockchain node. Okay, so now you can see this is the software IPFS desktop. On double click you can open it. On simply double click we open blockchain. This yes, 64 version is there. Now I am opening this software. So you can see that IPFS is running. Is it visible to all of you? Are you able to view this IPFS? Is it visible to all of you? I'm removing the existing files and so that I can show you from very scratch. Now is it visible to all of you? Now I want to see my system. So this script is also available. Status and explore. Is it visible to all the participants that I am on IPFS? So I think that everybody is already aware with the term BitTorrent files. Everybody is aware with torrent files. Earlier we were working on torrent files for peer-to-peer data transmission. So, but torrent is not associated with blockchain technology. If we are working on IPFS, then we are working on the technology which is similar to torrent, but using decentralized web. Is it visible to all of the participants? Are you able to view this? Please confirm in chat. Are you able to view this?
Sir, screen is clear. If you can be a bit more louder, that would be great.
Sir, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now is it audible to all participants?
Yes, sir. Much better, sir.
Okay. Now you can see that. Now if we simply discuss a point that if I want to upload a file of 20 MB or 10 MB using a traditional connection, then how much time it will take? I think at least 2-3 minutes, or not 2-3 minutes, or at least 1 minute it should take. Yes or no? Okay. I'm again repeating this point. Suppose I want to upload a file of 10 MB, or if I want to upload a video file of 100 MB, then it will take around 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Okay. But if I am using IPFS protocol, IPFS system, in that case, within 3-4 seconds, we can upload GBs of data. We can upload huge amount of data. I will show its demo also, that how much it is powerful, how much powerful it is using IPFS on blockchain. Now, on click of add, is it visible to all of you? On click of add, there are so many things, file, and now I will upload something. Suppose if I tell that suppose some song, I can take any song. So this song is 4 MB. Now it is uploaded. Can you imagine that as soon as I have selected this song, it is uploaded on blockchain. So in nanoseconds, in microseconds, 4 MB file is uploaded. Okay. Now I want to check whether it is uploaded or not. So on click of this. Now I am running this song on blockchain. You can see that. Have you seen this? Now I am running this song, this MP3 song on blockchain server. Not on blockchain server, but on decentralized web. Okay. If I take another file, suppose I take another file, add file. Are you able to view this file? Okay. If I take any video song, anything we can take here. Suppose This is your MP4 file. So this MP4 file is having size 10 MB, 10.5 MB. Are you able to view this? This 10.5 MB file is here. Is it visible to all the participants? This file I am uploading on blockchain, 10.5 MB, and you will see that on double click after how much now it is uploaded in only 1 second. Now I want to check on click, so you can see that. So currently I am running this video song on IPFS server, and on directly uploading this file, it is available. So what happens at the back end? This file of 10 MB, this file of 11 MB is fragmented to so many parts, and it is distributed to millions of computers which are on IPFS application, which are on IPFS deployment. Okay. So any other you can also take like this. So double click, and as soon as you double click, within 2-3 seconds, 26 MB file is uploaded, and on click it will be uploaded. Okay. So you can see the power of IPFS. You can see the features of IPFS, that 26 MB file is uploaded in 2-3 seconds, 11 MB file is uploaded in 1 second. Now if I want to send this file to somebody else, suppose I want to send this file to you. So on click, now you can see that copy CID. Is it visible to all of you? Copy CID. Is it visible to all of you? That copy CID share link. Copy CID. So what is the CID? This is the CID, content ID. Now this is your blockchain ID. Now from this ID, nobody will come to know that what is this particular thing. It will be known to the receiver only, or to the sender only, that it is a video song. Only I know that it is a video song. Only you know who is receiving this file that is a video song, or it is a transaction, or it is a Bitcoin transaction, or it is a Ripple transaction. Nobody will come to know that it is basically a video file. And no cyber expert, no cyber professional can track this transaction. What is the meaning of this? So what you will do in your system, if IPFS is installed, simply paste here, simply paste and browse. You will see this file in your system. Okay. Simply paste in your system, browse. So as soon as you will click on browse, you will get this file in 2 seconds. So GBs of data, terabytes of data can be transmitted instantly to any remote system. Okay. If I want to can see that share link, this is the share link. Now you can see that its HTTPS ID is also available. This is the HTTPS ID. Okay, this is the HTTPS ID. If you want to send this file on HTTPS and inspect, you can analyze what is the, which are different. You can see that so many paths are created. This file is fragmented into number of paths. This file is transmitted to number of paths. So link 1. This is link 1, link 2. So complete route is given. Now even if a very expert CID professional is there, very expert cyber professional is there, they will not be able to identify what is this QM, capital T, small v, IP. And even if they are very professional, then how much time it will take to decrypt it? So many days will be spent in decryption of this particular data, that who is sender and who is receiver, and what is the actual data going on. So it may be the transaction of weapon, it may be the transaction of any illegal activity, it may be a particular pirated file, it may be a particular pirated software, or it may be a particular data transmission. So you can see that. Have you got this point? Have you understood this point? So what you can do, suppose I want to have this file, so you should be thinking that yes, I'm also having IPFS, I will give you this ID. So your transaction will be identified with this particular ID. Your file will be downloaded with this ID. So whosoever knows this file ID, they can download it. They can get this, whether it is a software or it is a file or it is a particular transaction. Okay, so and this is peer-to-peer transaction. Okay, so any file you can delete from here, delete. And, if you want to open this file on web browser, that is what you will do. IPFS IP. But if you want to download this file using a client using Go language, in that case, what you will do, IPFS:// this. Okay, and its Chrome extension is also available. Okay, its Chrome extension is also available. If your internet speed is very less, in that case also it will be uploaded. Okay, if I show you that Chrome IPFS Chrome, is it visible to all of you? Are you getting this? IPFS companion, is it visible to all the participants? Are you getting this? IPFS companion, this Chrome is available. Chrome extension is available. So you can see that IPFS companion. Are you getting this? So even without IPFS software, without complete software, only you can integrate Chrome extension, add extension. Okay, and you can see. So once you install Chrome extension of IPFS, then your Chrome or your Firefox will become IPFS client, or it will become IPFS node. So it is downloading now. So many other tools available. IPFS, Firefox. Is it visible to all the participants? IPFS companion for Firefox, IPFS companion for Opera, for different web browsers, for different web clients. We can work with this. I think downloading Opera. And after that, what you have to do, you will only be able to access the file with this hash. If I want to see the hash of this file, then it is available with this. So as you can see, this copy CID. So what I will do, I will mail this CID or I will WhatsApp this CID. I will send this CID to somebody, and you already know that even if some CID professional, even if some CID professional get this particular CID, then what they will do with it. And as far as the um, capability is concerned, as far as the tools are concerned, there are no tools available to decrypt this because it is encrypted using multiple cryptography algorithms. Even if government is able to access this particular hash, then no government officer or no cyber professional will able to identify what is meaning of this particular thing. If I send this ID by WhatsApp, if I send this ID by email, in that case, it will come to know that it is some encrypted transaction, but nobody will be able to identify what is actually this. Okay, so simply upload a file. Any file you can upload. Suppose you can upload a text file also. Even for notes also you can do. suppose the participants, suppose the workshop organizers can want to send GBs of study material to their participants. So GB of study material will be very, very difficult to send by Google Drive or by Google Classroom. So what they can do, they can upload GBs of files, GBs of data on IPFS and give CID, give this CID to the participants. So add file. Suppose I take a particular software of a particular file like this. Okay. So now what I can do, I will copy this CID and I will send CID to my participants. So all the participants in their laptop or in their mobile phone, they will be able to download the study material or PPTs or any software. Suppose some software is required to be sent and that is pirated software, that is cracked software. If you will send that software by email, so obviously you may be in trouble. But if you will send that software by IPFS, then nobody will be able to crack it. So that's why government agencies are not allowing such transactions. They don't want to approve such transactions. Okay. However, these are not illegal. These software are not illegal, but obviously if you will use it for some illegal activities, then you may be in the trouble. Okay, and its browsing is not possible. Nobody can search the IPFS CID. If somebody suppose search it on Google, in that case nothing will be available. So these IPFS IDs are not available anywhere. Nobody will be able to access. Nobody will be able to identify. Even if you are having some study material, some notes, some research papers, you can upload for privacy, and after that you can access it. No, it is not illegal to send CID by email. Okay, it will not be illegal. Any you can search. Because I search this in this. So there is no information on Google about this CID. Okay, you can see that it is visible to all the participants. Chrome extension is included. Please confirm, is it visible to all of you? That Chrome extension is added here and Open Web UI. So on case of Open Web UI 127.0.0.5001. So now I am opening IPFS on my Chrome. Now WhatsApp servers do not use IPFS. Currently it is not used. Yes, you can upload in low internet connection also. There is no issue. Now I am opening IPFS server, IPFS system in my laptop. So you can see that IPFS coming here. Open Web UI, and this is the API of my system 127.0.0.1. Is it visible to the participants? Are you able to do this? I have opened IPFS in 127.0.0.5001. Are you able to do this? So rather than using IPFS software full-fledged, we can use its Chrome extension only. Are you able to do this? I am opening this in Chrome. Now you can see that same is available here. Delete. Same is available here. Delete.
Sir, a bit louder, please.
Okay. So now I have opened in my web browser. So within web browser, is it audible now? Is it audible to all participants?
Yes, sir. Your keystrokes are much more audible, so I request you to speak a bit more louder, so that would be okay for everybody.
Okay. So you can see that now I'm not using IPFS software, I'm using IPFS in this web browser. Right? And you can see that. Is it visible to all the participants? The URL of IPFS for Chrome extension. So as soon as you install, as soon as you integrate Chrome extension in your Chrome, this software can be accessed using 127.001:5001. Okay. And each and every transaction will be encrypted. All the transactions will be encrypted. So copy CID and you can send this CID. Suppose I take this. So suppose this is another CID. Okay. So using that particular CID, we can transmit a file. So whosoever is using Chrome extension of IPFS at the other end, they can download this file. Okay. CID in web browser. Okay. I'll show you some other platforms. It is point clear to all of you how to work with IPFS. And one more thing there, if you are working on mobile phone, if you are working on mobile phone, then IPFS applications also available. So and how actually app IPFS connect. Are you able to use this app, this Android app? Suppose I want to access all IPFS apps. Which apps are available? So in Google Play Store, simply write IPFS, and so many apps, hundreds of apps are available. So any of these you can install in your mobile phone. In your mobile phone, when you will open IPFS software, it will ask you CID. Simply copy CID, whatever CID you have received from some other person, and that file will be downloadable. Is it visible to all of you? Are you getting this IPFS software, list of IPFS software for Android? Okay. So if I want to see the IPFS Android, so if I install this software, you can see. If I show you the screenshot. Okay. So this is available, and suppose I take IPFS Lite. Suppose somebody created a CID of a particular file, then we can enter that CID in this. You can see this CID available here, IPFS Lite. So it will ask you the CID. Simply copy. No, it is not device independent. IPFS node is not hardware dependent. It is not platform dependent. It is completely fully open source and open platform. Anybody can use it. Okay. So on mobile phone also, if you are having CID of a file, CID is simply a file name. In very simple language, you can understand this, that CID is a file name, content ID. CID in blockchain is known as content ID. If you know the file name, you can download it. Same thing in blockchain IPFS. If you know the CID of a file, simply copy that CID, and so you can see that simply if you know the CID of a file, download it. Yes, directly from, if you know the ID, so open web UI. Suppose this is your CID, and you can browse it. You will be able to download it. As I am working on same computer, so it will not show that file. If I send it to some other computer, that is, it will be downloaded. On click of browse, it will give me the file along with the button of download. Okay, you can directly download this file. Is this point clear to all of you? So you can see that so many reviews are there for this IPFS. Okay, now I'll show you other platforms available. Is it visible to all of you? Are you getting this? SIA, SIA.tech. Are you getting this website? I'm going to recommend for IPFS. For most of the implementation, IPFS Lite, but SIA is also available. Is it visible to the participants? SIA. SIA is the leading decentralized cloud storage platform. Are you able to get this website? SIA.tech. No sign up, no servers, no trusted third party. Okay, are you getting this point? There is no need to sign up. See, as in case of IPFS, I have not signed in. I have not used any account. I did not create account. Actually, creation of account means KYC. Are you getting this point? If I am creating an account on a website, it means I am doing KYC. KYC is not required in decentralized storage. KYC is not required in decentralized web or blockchain. So that's why no sign up, no server, no trusted third parties. Okay. So you can see that how much capacity is there? 2 petabytes. How much data you can it is currently having, and you can direct. It is really open source. Many platforms available. If you take this also, StoreJ prototype. There are so many thousands of platforms available. Yes, these are similar to Google Drive, but blockchain. Actually, Drive is not blockchain, but these are blockchain integrated. These are having the powers of blockchain. So we are opening StoreJ. This decentralized cloud storage. Google Drive is centralized. Drive your books. That is also your centralized. Amazon Cloud, that is also centralized. In case of StoreJ, SIA, in case of these platforms like IPFS, all these are decentralized. Okay, so this is the list. Xcloud is also available. SIA coin is a cryptocurrency. These are cryptocurrencies. These are also used for cryptocurrencies. And BTFS is also available. BTFS, that is BitTorrent file system. BitTorrent file system. And BitTorrent file system, earlier BitTorrent file system was centralized, but nowadays BitTorrent file system is decentralized, and this is the first scalable decentralized storage system. Everybody knows about torrent files. Everybody knows about BitTorrent. Earlier it was centralized, but now it is completely decentralized, and so many nodes are associated with this. You can see that cross platform for Windows, Mac, Android. You can use. And as far as the cryptocurrency is concerned in blockchain technology nowadays, now the ban ban on trading of cryptocurrency is lifted by Supreme Court of India. So you are free to trade any Bitcoin. You are free to trade any Ripple, any cryptocurrency. I think that many of you might be aware with this particular thing. How many of you knows that now it is legal to trade Bitcoins or Ripple or any cryptocurrency? Yes or no? How many of you knows that we can trade freely on cryptocurrencies? Okay. There are so many platforms available for Bitcoin for trading of cryptocurrencies. Like in India, WazirX is used. WazirX is there, CoinDCX is there. So many platforms available, thousands of platforms available on which you can trade for the cryptocurrencies. I'm showing you that platform, WazirX. Now you can see that. So if I want to see the current rate of Bitcoin in rupees, BTC to rupees, you can see that 7 lakh. 7,02,007. So one Bitcoin is equivalent to this. One Ripple XRP. Where is XRP? This is your XRP. One Ripple is 15 rupees. 15.22 rupees. This is Tron. Tron is another very powerful cryptocurrency. X. It is 1 rupee. 1.11 rupee. LTC. That is Litecoin. Litecoin is, you can see that one Litecoin is equivalent to 3,360 rupees. USDT, Tether USD or Tether dollar. Its cost is 78. Okay. So it is similar to the share market. So you can trade in this, and there will be no legal issue. Anybody can create account on CoinDCX. Also, many platforms available. CoinDCX is also currency trading. Is it visible to all of you? This is the trend of cryptocurrency. So many cryptocurrencies are available. So any of these you can purchase, and you are free to purchase. There is no issue, and there will be no legal issues. You can see that how many ripples, Tether USD, you can exchange, you can sell it. So nobody will stop you in purchasing Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency. Okay. Earlier it was banned, but a few months back its ban was lifted by Supreme Court, and now it is legal to trade on cryptocurrency. If you will create account on Indian website, then KYC will be required. If you will create account on some foreign website, that means it will depend on the laws of that country. Okay. So simply, if I want to purchase, right click, click here, and you can see that it will show you the option buy or sell. Suppose I buy here or sell. If I want to sell, is it visible to all of you? Are you able to do this thing? Buy or sell. Suppose I want to buy or sell Bitcoins. We can do it. So for that, I will have to put some amount. Automatically, that amount will be converted to that particular currency. And you can see that brokerage is also given. Maker fee 0.2%. Taker fee 0.2% means total 0.4% will be taken by WazirX, which is the company. If I create account on CoinDCX, then it is similar to the share market. Suppose you create account on like some website. There are so many share trading sites available. Like Ventura is available. Zerodha is also available. You can take account on any share trading website. So it is similar to the share trading, but it is not share trading. It is cryptocurrency trading. So you can convert your rupee to this. Zepto is also available. There are so many available, but as far as it depends on your comfort level, which you want to take. Or another USDT. This is BTC. This is WazirX token. This is Ethereum. Ethereum price is 15,000, more than 15,000 rupees. Matic is also available. So you can trade it, and this is the pattern. Suppose I want to see the Ethereum. So this is the pattern of Ethereum. I can buy or sell Ethereum tokens. Okay. So you can customize for research and development. You can customize IPFS. The backend language of IPFS is Go language. Most of the programs, most of the implementations of blockchain are in Go language. Golang. You might have heard about it, Golang or Go language. In that, you can implement the algorithm. Okay. Participants, you can please ask your queries, and after that, we will conclude the session. You can start asking your query. Kamal sir, we can take the queries from.
Yes, sir. So we are open for questions right now. So, sir, there is a question from Sahaya LND. Which one is better? Is it in decentralized platform?
Actually, because of cybersecurity issues, decentralized platforms are not advisable for secured applications, for privacy applications. Actually, suppose if you take example of the institute website or university website, in that case, nobody will be able to track the transaction. It will be very, very difficult to track, because nowadays the tracking of transaction is very, very important. Suppose somebody performs some illegal transaction. In that, nowadays what happens? Suppose from my Paytm account some money is withdrawn, then I can easily track that to which account my Paytm amount has gone. But if we take 123 at the rate hash like this, in that case it is very, very difficult. Suppose that particular recipient is from Iraq or Malaysia or from Pakistan, then it will not be identifiable. So nowadays blockchain is not matured. Nowadays blockchain is under development, and many countries are implementing only if they are having cyber experts, only if they are having trained cyber professionals. In India, there is huge lack of cyber professionals in developing countries. In Dubai, they are having lots of funds. In Singapore, they are having lots of funds. Okay, but in developing countries or even developed countries, there is lack of so many resources. You might have seen the scenario of COVID-19 also. In Singapore, very easily they were able to track and reduce the number of cases. Are you getting this point? In Singapore, Dubai, the effect of COVID was not very, very huge. But you can see the scenario of India, Pakistan, these countries, even America. These countries are getting so much panic. So it depends on the technology. It depends on the trained professionals. Nowadays we are not having that much amount of cyber professionals. In current scenario, even the cyber professionals are not able to identify fake Paytm transactions or fake Google Pay transactions. It takes so many months. Okay, so it depends on the uh, training scenario. It depends on the expertise level of cyber professionals, and only then we should adopt it. Okay? We are not saying that we should not adopt a decentralized system, but decentralized system is fully secure, but ethical issues must be there. Are you getting this point?
Fine, sir. Can we move to the next question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next question is from SAVS Samba Murthy S. What is the difference between blockchain and Bitcoin?
Yes, sir. Sir, please repeat your question.
Yeah, sir. I'll repeat it. What is the difference between blockchain and Bitcoin?
Sir, blockchain is the platform. Blockchain is the environment, and Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency that is executed and that runs on the blockchain. Okay, Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency that run on blockchain. It is similar to the Indian rupee that run on UPI system, that run on Indian banking system.
Next question is from Mr. Manish Ganot. How to download directly from Google Chrome? Can it be done by adding the extension?
Yes, yes, yes. By simply adding the extension, you can download the file directly. Then automatically Google Chrome at the backend implements IPFS to Google.
Next question we have from Sandhya MK. Application of blockchain in IoT she is asking about.
For smart cities, we can work with it. And as you have seen that so most of the toll plaza, most of the toll establishments are now RFID integrated, faster integrated. So that can be worked out. That can be integrated. That can be deployed using blockchain technology. Uh, just to handle huge amount of data. So the data of traffic, the data of so many vehicles, the data of so many persons, and with anonymity.
Okay, sir. We have next question from Vamsi Naidu Pothana. If I want to withdraw money from cryptocurrency to Indian rupees, do I need any proof? I mean, in India, any monitoring
Yes.
bodies will watch these transactions.
Definitely, definitely. Actually, if you will, you are free to trade Bitcoin, you are free to trade cryptocurrency, but if you will withdraw the money, if you will convert the money to Indian rupees, in that case, your money will be transferred to your bank account. And once money is transferred to the bank account, then you will have to show that amount in your ITR. Okay, if you are paying the tax, suppose I earned 5 lakh rupees from Bitcoin and I have shown that 5 lakh rupees is my income tax return. In that case, government has nothing to do. But what you did with this 5 lakh rupees? I am paying 10% TDS. I am paying 5% TDS or whatever it is. Then nobody will ask you. Okay, are you getting this point? Simply whatever you are earning, show that profit in your income tax statement. Then nobody will say you anything.
Next question from Rhythm Chaudhary. Terrorists can misuse CID in IPFS.
No. Terrorists cannot misuse it. This is the main flavor. This is the main power of IPFS or blockchain that nobody will be able to crack it. Nobody will be able to destroy your CID. Okay, but terrorists themselves use blockchain technology for transmission of data. Suppose I transferred 1 lakh rupees to some other person. Suppose I transferred one crore rupees to other person, and that particular transaction I am sending by IPFS rather than WhatsApp. Nowadays, you know that government is having close eyes on WhatsApp transactions, on WhatsApp messages, on Twitter messages. But I am sending the messages by IPFS. In that case, nobody will be able to identify it.
Sir, there is before the next question, I would request you to speak a bit more louder because still the voice is slightly low.
Okay.
Sir, next question is from A. Arun Kumar. Whether blockchain technology can be used for applications not involving money-related transactions?
Yes, definitely. Nowadays, blockchain is used for e-governance also. E-governance also for land registry, for Aadhaar card implementation. You can use it. Nowadays, what happens whenever we go to purchase a SIM card, they take our fingerprint. Okay, so it can also be integrated by blockchain. Medical services can also be integrated by blockchain. So it depends on the application area. So anywhere you can implement it in secretariat, in your revenue department of secretariat. You can implement it for land registry, for sale and purchase of plots, for sale and purchase of the flats. Okay, are you getting the audio?
Yes, sir, getting the audio. Sir, next question is from Rhythm Chaudhary. Can we install IPFS on Kali?
On Kali?
Kali Linux.
Yes, definitely. It's Linux version is available and you can install it.
Next question is from Rajesh Kumar Pendem. Sir, which IPFS is good to download from Google Play Store?
IPFS Lite will be good. most you can see the reviews also. The reviews of IPFS Lite are comparatively good, or any other also you can try, but we generally use IPFS Lite.
Next question I'll take. Just a second, sir. You stopped sharing your screen, so my chat window just went away. I'll just open it again.
Okay. Are you getting the audio? Audio is okay now?
Sir, audio slightly low. So you're using the laptop mic today, na?
Yes, yes, yes.
So yesterday it was very good from the laptop mic, but today it is slightly low.
Okay. Now is it okay?
Yeah, it is okay, sir. When you're talking and you're doing saying a long sentence, then it breaks in between. Otherwise, it is okay, but slightly low as compared to yesterday.
Okay, okay.
So I'll take next question now, sir. Next question is from Mr. Ramakant Upadhyay. So he says Indian Railway or Indian banking system do not use IPFS or decentralized method while it is more secure. Why? Because not easy to hack this, because never heard that from the branch of bank such billion lakh rupees has been withdrawal. Yes, in user case who are using net banking here, server bypass is possible. My question is both departments not use IPFS while secure or not possible to hack this?
Actually, in current scenario, in current implementations, IPFS is not used by government of India. Okay, for public services, for e-governance services. Why? As we have discussed that uh, major issue is the traceability. Traceability of transaction is very difficult, and in addition to that, IPFS is your public protocol. Okay, whosoever is having that particular hash ID, that particular cryptographic ID, that particular file can be analyzed. Okay, so and one more thing that we are discussing many times, that in Indian scenario, in developing countries, trained cyber professionals are not available. So if any wrong transaction goes on, suppose a wrong bank account, wrong tickets booking, or failed transaction of Indian Railway, in that case it will be very difficult for station master or for finance department to analyze that particular thing or to retrieve that particular transaction. Okay.
Gaurav sir, I have a request to make. If we can we can try the handset or the headphones today, because the voice is slightly low, so we can check which one is better today.
Okay, okay. In the afternoon session, we will try it.
Okay, okay. So next question is from Miss Varsha. Difference between Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
Sir, Bitcoin is a type of cryptocurrency. Are you Bitcoin actually cryptocurrency is the currency, and cryptocurrency is basically the broad term. And as far as the Bitcoin is concerned, that is a type of cryptocurrency like Indian rupee or dollar or euro or any other cryptocurrency.
Okay, the next question is from I'll take from.
Is the audio quality clear now?
Sir, it is clear. It is clear. It is okay, but slightly low. But you can speak a bit louder, then it would be okay for everybody.
Okay, okay.
Jaspreet Singh is asking, blockchain is only used for Bitcoin transactions or any other applications also?
Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency application. For e-governance also we can use it. For public service system we can use it. But currently the major application, the major implementation part of blockchain is cryptocurrency. That is Bitcoin, Ripple, or so many things.
Next question, Vamsi Naidu. I need to upload a file in machine with slow internet speed. How can it will be uploaded that much fast? Does it take other players' internet speed to finish the task?
It will be uploaded automatically. Depending upon your internet speed, your file will be fragmented to thousands of parts, and it will be transmitted to IPFS network or IPFS nodes. And so you need not to worry about that particular thing. You need not to worry about the speed of internet. It will work.
We have next question from Leena Chaudhary. Sir, can you please suggest any field of blockchain in which I can take for my research work?
In blockchain, you can work with Hyperledger. Actually, what you do, as far as IPFS is concerned, as far as Ethereum is concerned, there are so many platforms available. These are known as public blockchain. Okay, but if you want to work on open source and in private mode, and for your research and development, then you can explore Hyperledger Suites. More than 10 platforms available for research and development, and all these are associated with Hyperledger.
Manish sir is asking if you could share steps to download and upload any file from Google IPFS extension, if that is possible.
That we have covered, that we have already covered, that simply open your Chrome extension. In Chrome extension, go to 127.0.0.1 colon your port number, and it will ask you to upload the file ID. As I have shown the demo of uploading a song or video file, it will generate a CID and you can simply send it. I will send the screenshots also. Okay, what I will do, I will send you a particular PPT with number of screenshots in steps. Or if you have recorded this session, then in this particular session, those steps are covered.
Yes, sir, the recording is on. That is okay. Sir, next question from Mr. Shubham Avasti. What is the difference between decentralized and centralized platform?
So in case of centralized platform, there is a single server in which complete data repository is available, in which all files are available. But so that is the major issue that we have covered very initially, that if the username and password of that server get leaked, then anybody can access it, or if that is hacked, then anybody can access it. In decentralized web, there is no owner, there is no administrator. In case of decentralized web, there is no server administrator. Okay, so anybody can transmit the data, and there will be full security.
Next question from Mr. Manish Panchal. IPFS is available for Mac iOS?
Yes, that is also available for any platform, for any operating system, for any hardware you can integrate it.
Next question from Raghu Vamsi. How to link IPFS with front-end web applications?
For that, we have to integrate it with Hyperledger application. So that is a separate scenario, Hyperledger environment. We can program it, and along with Go language and JavaScript, we have to perform the coding, and then we can integrate it with IPFS.
Next question from Ms. Garima Sharma. Sir, blockchain ID and content ID both are same. Is it created by own?
Yeah, no, blockchain ID and content ID are same, but it is generated by the environment itself. We do not generate it. It is automatically generated by the system. It is automatically generated by the blockchain platform. That makes sure that your blockchain ID or content ID is unique and fully secured and untraceable.
Next question from Jairaj Singh Meena. Sir, how blockchain will transform the supply chain and logistics industry?
Yes, actually for that we have to we work on Hyperledger Suite. Currently Ethereum or IPFS that we have covered, that these are public blockchain platforms. For private, actually supply chain, suppose for Amazon or for Flipkart, we want to integrate the blockchain technology. So such platforms or such implementations can be done using Hyperledger.
Ramakant sir is asking that question regarding, sir, banking and railway. How both the departments more secure?
Actually, in current scenario, they are using multiple servers. Okay. They are using NoSQL databases and multiple servers with replication, and they are having their own algorithms, but these are not on blockchain. So once it will be deployed on blockchain, then we can say that it is fully secured. So we can wait for that particular scenario when Indian Railways and other related banking systems will be on blockchain technology.
Maninder ma'am and Jairaj sir, Singh Meena. So if you are facing any issue with the audio, just go to the audio conference tab, leave the current call, and then do call from computer again. You'll be able to hear everything. Just follow these steps. The next question is from Raghu Vamsi. How to link IPFS with front-end web? That is done, sir. That is done. So I'll move ahead. Shija Nair, sir, is Bitcoin legal in India?
Yes, it is legal in India. As we have told that the ban on this cryptocurrency trading is lifted now, and you can trade it, no issue. But once amount will come in your account, you will have to show in your income tax statement, and then will be no trouble.
Question from Jaspreet Singh. Can blockchain be used along with machine learning and artificial intelligence technologies?
Yes, that can be integrated. If you will explore Hyperledger platform, Hyperledger suite, in that case you will find all these things: artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, all these are available.
Next question from Mr. Prashant Sharma. What exactly do we know about the security of a block?
So in case of security, there are multiple hybrid algorithms which work in blockchain technology, in blockchain platform, and they automatically ensure it that your block will be fully secured. Okay, so dynamically each and every transaction, each and every path is fully encrypted, and it is passed in the blockchain network.
Next question from Rhythm Chaudhary. Can we use IPFS for cloud security research?
Yes, you can use it for cloud security, for any area, not for cloud security, not for cryptocurrency or supply chain. In any area, whatever you think, whatever you imagine, you can implement it.
Thanks, Manish sir. Next question is from Mohit Singh. Explain why a blockchain needs tokens to operate.
Is it your question, sir?
Yeah. Mohit Singh is asking, explain why a blockchain needs tokens to operate.
In case of blockchain transaction, token means a particular block or a particular transaction. Okay, so each and every transaction, each and every movement is fragmented into number of blocks or number of tokens. In case of cryptocurrency, we call it as token. In case of file, we can call it as fragment. Okay, or a particular part, and each and every part is encrypted along with the path, along with the encrypted path. So that is required just to ensure the security.
Yes, Umesh sir, if you have no doubts, then please go ahead. Then we have next question from Shubha Jain. Is it possible to double spend in blockchain system?
Yes, definitely we can work with it. So for that scenario, we have to work on Ethereum as well as Hyperledger. Both are used.
Next question is from Mr. Jaspreet Singh. He wants to know where bitcoins are used in India.
In India, you can't use bitcoins directly in any shopping mall, or but shopping malls accept international transactions or international purchasing. In that case, you can use bitcoins. Okay, or in many cloud services also, many cloud service providers also use bitcoins. Suppose I want to take cloud hosting or a web hosting, I can pay by bitcoin. But within India, it is not used widely. It is generally used for international transactions.
Next question from Mr. Ashish Bhole. What will be the technologies for lightweight blockchain programming?
Golang and JavaScript. These are Golang and JavaScript. You can use in most of the implementations. Golang is.
Yeah, VC Dinesh sir, the session is only open for questions. If you have no questions, then you can join for the next session.
We can take other questions by mail also.
Yeah.
If the students or participants are working on specific area or specific research problem, they can communicate by mail also. Okay.
So, sir, 2-3 questions are left. Can we go ahead and take that?
Okay.
From Ramakant sir, Google server is used for IPFS?
No, Google is not using IPFS. Currently, they are using their own data centers.
Next question, Shija Nair. To develop an app, security plays an important role. What all security parameters need to be considered to safeguard from hackers?
For that, you can integrate IPFS server. So simply you can go the IPFS programming using Go language, and then rather than using MySQL or NTFS file system, you can ensure the security on IPFS platform.
What type of records can be kept in the blockchain? Is there any restriction on the same?
No. There is no restriction. Any type of report, whether it is financial transaction or e-governance transaction, anything you can program.
Next question from Mr. Prakash. How we can open account in Bitcoin?
Simply you can create account in WazirX or CoinDCX. You can simply search for the cryptocurrency trading organizations, cryptocurrency trading websites, and then you can convert your rupees in your bank account to Bitcoin, and then you can trade it. Similar to share trading.
Next question from Ms. Madhumita. Sir, is there any simulation tool for developing blockchain?
No simulation tools. Actually, in Hyperledger there is a playground available. Hyperledger playground is available, so that can be used for simulation of blockchain environment for supply chain management.
Yes, Manish sir, if you don't have any queries, you can leave the session. Next session will begin sharp at 2 p.m. So next question from Ms. Varsha. I don't know if I'll pronounce it correctly. Like Ethereum, which one is good to implement blockchain?
Like Ethereum, you can go for Hyperledger, and the backend language is JavaScript. For Ethereum, we use Solidity or Viper language, and you can use. Okay. For public blockchain, we use Ethereum. For private blockchain, we use Hyperledger.
Next question from Mr. Mohit. What is the difference between blockchain and database?
So database is always centralized. In case of blockchain, it is decentralized. Database means the database server is available, central repository is available. In case of blockchain, there is no centralization. It is fragmented on the network.
What are the limitations of blockchain?
The lack of knowledge in cyber professionals, lack of expertise, and untraceability, tracing of your fake transactions. All these things are limitations.
So I think we're done with the questions. If you have any more questions, then you can directly mail it to sir. So he has already shared his email ID. So as far as some people are asking regarding the feedback, sir, I've shared the link in the email that was sent to you yesterday. So by the end of the day, you can go to that link and just fill that form and submit it online only. So there is no need to send anything as far as the feedback form is concerned. It is an online form. You have to just fill it and then submit it. That's okay. Yeah, as per the discussion, director sir was to join at 11:30, but there is no communication to me right now. So that means right now he's not here, I guess. So as soon as I'll have a word with Dr. Maitri Datta in the break. So whatever she says, I'll convey it to you. It's okay, Sanjay sir. So Gaurav sir, no more queries as of now. So we can stop the session now and we'll meet at 2 p.m.
Okay, fine, sir. Fine, sir. Okay.
I just wanted to ask Sarvesh sir, did I miss something? You can ask the question again. Gaurav sir, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yes, Sarvesh sir, I think there is one question from Mayank Prashar. How the hacker send a SMS to our mobile and take out all the money from our account through Google Pay and phone? How it happened? I want to learn how the hacker actually does it.
Actually, for such implementations, phishing messages are created. There are so many applications in Kali Linux also, or using Python code also. We can create some phishing messages, and once that message is sent, then on click of that particular message, the transaction happens. Okay, but transaction will happen only if you will enter your PIN, your UPI ID, your UPI PIN. Okay, if you do not enter your UPI PIN, in that case nothing will happen.
Sarvesh, I'll be unmuting you. Just a second. Give me a second. Yes, Sarvesh, please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Oh, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Sir, actually, I have two questions. One is related to yesterday part. That's Node minus red. I just tried to implement, just tried to use that. I did all the steps, follow all the steps while it was done. I'm not having there any option for Twitter and WhatsApp. Like I am having partial storage and functions console like these only. But there is no option for that.
Ma'am, you can send these screenshots to my mail ID. I will see, and then I will tell you by which command or by which instruction you can integrate it.
Yes, just okay, sir. I also updated node minus red also by using the command, but still there is no option for that. I'm having only 5 options: common, function, like parser, network is there, and sequence is there.
Please share, please send me the screenshot of your system, and then I will check it, and I will reply you back on mail. I will record a video, and then I will mail it.
Okay, so one more question is like I'm also working in blockchain and I'm just trying the network that is openly provided like MetaMask is there and Ganache server is also there and Solidity programming can be done for the Ethereum with MetaMask. The same question is here. What tools we can use for cyber secure for blockchain in for cyber security?
If you are working on Solidity, then within Solidity you can integrate the algorithm. So if you are working on security integrity, the algorithm for specific cryptography or for specific resource optimization can be integrated.
So sir, for that we have to write algorithm?
Yes, yes. In Solidity you will have to write the algorithm.
And that is to be implemented on MetaMask or Ganache or some other server?
That you can implement on your Remix ID. You might have
yes, sir, Remix ID, yes, sir.
That is executed on Remix.
So that is to be simulated on Remix ID, but what server is to be used there?
MetaMask is also okay. At the backend, you can take Ganache. That is also fine.
Ganache is also fine. Sir, whenever we are installing like these type of extension to our Chrome or like this, we are having some unwanted messages on the taskbar, like some notification pop-ups are there now. I already installed extension for Ganache and one Google certification that is also exchange add-ons for the Google Chrome. After that, I am having more notification from Google Chrome. So is that
so these are not required. You can disable these.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So we have taken almost all the questions now. So we are heading for the lunch break now. So we'll meet at 2 p.m. Thank you so much, Gaurav sir.
Okay, thank you.